Okay, so let me get rocking and rolling on the training. We're going to be talking about DOI. I just want to start here on this screen for a second. Then we're going to talk about Department of Interior. And on any department, you want to really begin when you're trying to have success in that department. It's one thing to just find opportunities to respond. Well, you're not selling and you're not trying to build a relationship and you're not trying to understand your customer. That's fine if that's the business model you want to do. This training is about how do I get in so that I build such a good relationship that, of course, I hear about opportunities that I can win, but I'm developing a relationship where I can start shaping opportunities. I literally was talking this morning with one of my customers about an idea we're going to take back to the government buyers, especially the ones that they're working with, and push an idea forward because we know what they need and we know what our skill sets are. But when I come in for today's training and when I want you to think broadly about Department of Interior, a great place to begin is just the agencies, or in Interior, they call it bureaus. But come in here and understand who's in there, because each one of these folks have their own buying and spending. DOI has a budget in the $10+ billion range. It actually might be a little lower depending on how I skew it. And I'll show that to you in a minute. I'll show the spending in a minute. But come in here and begin to look at this, right? I was talking with another customer this morning about Bureau of Reclamation, right? So they reached out to a buyer. The buyer got back to them and said, hey, let's talk. Actually, if I give you a quick tip, this is somebody who's kind of new to government contracting, didn't have a lot of past performance on the federal side, but they do on the commercial side. And they reached out anyways with that short email that I teach. And so this is a customer in our workshop. And the response back was, well, you just don't seem like you've got the federal experience we need. But you know what? I'm happy to talk to you because you guys got the some experience, and maybe I can tell you about what you do need to get to. When they go in, they'll be able to say, hey, actually, we have one. But it was great, right? Reaching out. Well, it was because they began to reach out and methodically understand Interior. So you look here, Bureau of Reclamation or National Park Services, U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Go check out our website, govconchamber.com, and you can find on this site here, GovCon Chamber, you can go in, I don't know where it's at, blog post. There it is under About Us. You can go to the blog post and you'll be able to find some of the bureaus at Interior. I did interviews with federal buyers in there, getting their guidance on how you succeed. So anyways, the first step we do when we're trying to get into a bureau, into a department, is really understand the bureaus and understand maybe where I want to begin to go into, because you can't sell to the entire bureau early on. Like when you're doing under 20 million, the more focused you are, the more you can really guarantee a win. So I'm going to talk to you about this, and we're going to go to a lot of information as we drive forward. But if you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏. I'm the president of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce, and I want to welcome you to my federal sales training, where I provide tips for success in the federal market. I spent 20 years in the federal market as a small business owner, and since 2018, I've been teaching people like you that government contracting is not a secret. It's just a process. When we follow a process A to Z, we're going to have repeatable, predictable results. That's what I want for you. That's why I do this training, is so that I can teach you skills that you can go off and practice over and over again with your federal customers and get really good at it. That leads to those predictable results. If you haven't done so already, I had mentioned that we've got a newsletter out there, the Government Contracting Success Newsletter. Come join 15, almost 16,000 other people and get information. You can see the type of information we're sharing right here. This is MIC opportunities. So opportunities from the Department of Army. If I just click on here and show you the type of stuff we put in here, if you scroll down, you'll start seeing, here's a video replay of the event. We've got some points of contacts in here and where they're at. And then as you keep coming down, we've got all sorts of opportunities. And these are just the sampling of what's in the 121 pages. And so here you can see like facility support, roofing contracts, again, base operations services. There's IT, there's construction, there's professional services, food services. So there's all sorts of stuff in here. And this is an example of a newsletter article that we just put out today or this morning. I literally did this, by the way. It's not like I have a team of somebody who pushed play. I have a team who helps me put things together. But I literally put this together 4 hours ago. I just been so busy, I forgot when I did it. Anyways, join the newsletter. I see somebody just did it. Let's celebrate. Okay, let's get rocking and rolling on diving more into Department of Interior. In today's training, we're talking about how to have success in there. And for me, I first look on the website, right? I want to get in here and I want to understand the organization. I'm going to show you a lot more about goals, et cetera, in a second. But the next thing I like to do is just go, well, how much money are they spending? Where are they spending it? And so in here, I'm going to go to fiscal year 2023. I'm in USA spending for those of you who don't know. I'm saying, show me the last fiscal year. Let's go to the Department of Interior. Excuse me. Hey, what happened? Where'd my name go? There it is. Okay, so I just want to stop for 1 second and show you how much things change as you go forward. So I said, show me fiscal year 2023. Show me the Department of Interior, and you see the spending was $18.5 billion. It sounds cool, but it's really important to understand that that's not all contracting dollars, right? And so here I'm going to say, let's just show you contract vehicles really quick because I haven't done this before. But here I'm saying, show me contract vehicles. And 1 second, there was 3,000 contract vehicles that were active in one way or another in 2023. By the way, that's a lot, right? How can you possibly know all of them? That's just Department of Interior in 2023. But look at this, it's $3 million. And the reason is, anytime you see money like this, it tends to be a token amount, $25 or $500, just to activate the vehicle. But what you really want are the contracts. And so that's what I want to talk about today, right? So I went from, what was it, 18 billion or something, down to 7.6 billion. So these are the contract dollars. And so this is important for me to begin to understand. Again, inside of USA spending. So I'm looking at the year, but I want to just expand on the month. This is what I love to see because it communicates to me right away that they don't kind of spend at the end of the year. They absolutely just flood the end of the year. We said $7 billion, $2 billion of it is in the last month in September. $3 billion is in the last 2 months. $3 billion, that's almost 50% of their budget. What did we say their budget was? 7.6, right? And if I come here, it's 2.1. So it's 3 out of 7.6. That's a huge, huge amount. Like 40% of their budget is being spent in the last 2 months. And so that's just an eye opener for me that I haven't missed the race. July is lower because, typically that's the summer vacation for a lot of people. They take their 2 weeks or more off. Next thing I want to do in USA spending, just to give me a quick understanding and a way to guide me further into USA spending, is I want to look at, I can come to this categories tab. And in this category tab, it has a drop down for spending by. So at the moment, I'm looking at spending by the agency. But if I sit here and say, show me industry code, and what I want to see is NAICS code, that's what I like to see. By the way, look at this. If you look at it from a PCS, the professional services, support professional others, et cetera, those look really big. But when I switch it over to the NAICS code, commercial institutional building sitting at that top. And so that tells me that that's not my world, right? But if you're in the construction or any kind of support, whatever that is, I don't pretend to know what every one of the NAICS codes does because I'm more of a professional services IT guy. But I can come in here and go, okay, they're spending about, if I look at these top two, they're spending about $1 billion in professional services, low level, because that's administrative management is kind of lower level than, let's say, program management. And then other computer related services. That's a flag for me, by the way. I'm like, okay, I wonder what they're throwing in and the way they throw it in. Same thing with 541-512 for software development type thing. I'm looking in there, but now I can see they spent about $1.5 billion, at least just on those two, on professional services and IT. I've got a customer, somebody I was talking to this morning, who is one of their things is a water vertical. In fact, Jay might even be on the live. And so Jay Madigan, he's in this water business. I don't know what this is. He knows it much better than I do. But actually, when I was preparing for this training, I was also seeing a lot of that water service being done at the Bureau of Reclamation. One last thing, just for the fun of it, if you're trying to get into the government, or even I've got a company that just is doing multiple millions of dollars, but one of my pieces of advice to them for the rest of this year is really go heavy on subcontracting as well. Don't dismiss subcontracting because you want to go after prime. Do them both. And if I wanted to get into Department of Interior, I could look here and say, well, show me by recipient who's winning the most, right? And I can come in here and go, well, this company, Vera Institute of Justice, whatever that is, I don't really care, right? one other thing I could do is I could come down here, and hopefully this will work out nice and easy for me. I can say, show me 541, 512, I thought it was. That one and 9. I wonder if I can do them both. I think I can. There we go. So I just added 2 filters, and now I'm looking at the top. So now look at this. Now I'm looking at the top 10 firms related to what I sell, not the top 10 firms. I know Guidehouse. I've got relationships over there, right? And I go, oh, let me go check them out. I know CGI. I don't really do a lot with them, but coming down, Smartronix, I know them as Central Federal Services. I was literally just talking to somebody who was saying that they've got a good, tight relationship with the Central Federal Services. The customer just started yesterday. Now that I look at this, I'm like, I might go, hey, go see if you can get a piece of whatever they're doing over there. So you can look in here and see. Now, these are all larges. If I wanted to, one last thing, just because I think this is so valuable, I can come in here and say recipient type, show me small businesses, right? So now I'm going to the next level. These are the biggest winners over there. But now I'm going to say, show me the biggest winners that are smalls. And there's Planet Technology, right? 34 million. They're doing awesome. And so I can look through here and see, and it's funny, Tech Synapse, I know them. Software Information Resources, these guys, they're in our community, and CR7. So you see what I did where I walked it down with these different filters. I begin to understand DOI so much more. So if that makes sense, do me a favor, put USA Spending Rocks into the chat. USA Spending Rocks into the chat, because it can tell you so much information. By the way, it can literally begin to tell me the people. I'm just not showing you that today and right now. Hey, before I go on, let me tell you about something exciting I'm doing with a bunch of people I got working together with on building out a SaaS platform. So this is our AI play to be able to address some of the biggest challenges I've seen over the last 6 years with small businesses. And they're around building relationships. How do you start and build relationships? We're going to make that easier. How do you find slam dunk opportunities? Not just a ton of opportunities. Hey, they're all coming in. How do you find the 5 or 10 that are the right ones to be pushing forward on? How do you organize your efforts? Is frankly around this. This is around your sales pipeline and writing proposals using AI. How do you get found by federal buyers? How do you win more contracts? These are the things that small businesses want. And that's what we're building a new tool for. So if you're interested in learning about this when we drop it, I'm really excited to talk to you about it. Just go to GovCon.com and you can get on our wait list right here. So GovCon.com. All right, so let's get over to U.S. Department of Interior and start driving a little bit farther in here. When I go in and I want to start learning about an agency and be able to push further in, one of the things that I teach my customers, and I teach you all the time in these trainings, is you got to speak the customer's language. And so I love bouncing around. I am doing this training raw so you can see what I do. If I run into hiccups, I want you to see them. So if I come in here, I look at the about, I don't really see anything, right? But I am able to go into the, excuse me, the bureaus. And so now I'm able to look at the org chart. If I pop over to the priorities, this is one way of how they look at it. I don't like it at the moment. And so I'm going to take you to where I like to go. And so we'll drive down to the bottom. One of my favorite places to go is just down to the bottom of the footer on websites, because you can find things like the Inspector General. I'm going to share that one. And I was looking for one other thing. Let me see if I can find it right here. I hate it when I do something and then I got to come back and find it, which is no big deal. Maybe it's under media. No, but I'll find it in a second, because I'll just keep going as I go along. It all pops up. What I wanted to show you here is with the Inspector General, these are the guys who do oversight on an agency, right? And so the part that I particularly like are, and I got to find it, is the performance. Okay, so the performance strategy, this is where I was going, and the major challenges. These are two things I want to show you. And let me switch those, because major challenges are the ones I like first. I'm just going to click on this. It takes me 3 clicks to get in. By the way, never design a website that requires me to keep clicking to the thing I wanted. Just take me to the PDF. Okay, so let me just do the page like that. In here, in these, this is a major management and performance challenge. It's a normal document across all agencies. And it talks about what are we facing? What do we see now that we ran into in 2023 that we're going to try to address in 24? What are we seeing in 24 that we're going to look at in 2025? And so you can see this report came out in November 2023. by November 2024, you want to be looking for this next report for your target agency. For us, it's Department of Interior. So when I come down, first place I go is the table of contents. It gives me a lot, right? So let me zoom in for a second. So right here, I'm able to see their main challenges. I like it because every agency does it a little different, but here they broke their 3 main challenges into areas: managing spending, delivering their core services, and ensuring health and safety. Well, you know what? I don't do anything with health and safety, so I'm ignoring that. Someday I might come back to it. And when I think about spending, it's like, well, I could kind of help, but that's not really my area. And so I'm going to look at delivering core services. That's what I do. That's what my customers do, et cetera. And so in here, I might look at one of these. All of these are attractive to me. I talked about 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, who's on the call, probably water and power management, right? I could click down there and see what that is. In fact, let me click there and I'll come back. When I come down, I can start seeing how they describe the challenges, right? One of the things Jay was telling me is he does water and water vertical and stuff. And he was saying that Graham has the capability of helping with dams in these reservoirs, et cetera. Well, what I would guide him on is come in and look at this and begin to regurgitate or restate some of what's in here to the people you meet when you go in and talk to them. If you're trying to do an outreach, you can say, hey, I was looking at the challenge document and I noticed this bullet was talking about accelerating ongoing maintenance actions and studies to determine blah, blah, blah. This is exactly what I think he does. But he could reach out to somebody and say, I saw this in the DOI management challenges. Would you mind if we got on a call for 15, 30 minutes and I could just pick your brain about it? So that kind of stuff is really interesting and helpful. Inside the OIG, inside the report, they have an OIG oversight section. But what I like about it is all these published works that you can do much more information. The difference between winners and losers in government contracting is winners read. Winners consume information about their customers. Winners care enough about a customer to do their homework, right? If you want millions of dollars in government contracts, then take the time to become a PhD on that agency you're trying to serve. So let me come back up to this one. This was data, right? And this is the one I like. I'm able to do that same thing I was talking with Jay. And as I come along, I can keep seeing things like here, it was talking about that agencies should use data and evidence to understand and improve program performance. When I'm writing a proposal back to them, I say things like, hey, we understand. I either say we understand how important it is to DOI to use data, use that data and evidence to understand and improve performance and to make data-informed leadership decisions, et cetera. I'm finding the way they say it, and I'm sliding it into the way I'm talking. And this is just a good thing. It's not like you're copying something in a bad way. You're not doing plagiarism. You're just trying to understand how do they speak about what I sell and then working it back. These documents help you. So again, a lot of good information in here. You see, I can just keep clicking on things and seeing what's going on, seeing what the challenges were. Okay, so let me close that guy. And I'm not going to do any more on this because I'm going to run out of time. But here, I wanted to come to just the there's typical documents, strategic documents that you can learn about the strategic plan, the strategic goals, the priorities an agency has. So if I click on that, and the other one I liked was this one. So if I click on this one first, here's an OIG strategy mapping with their goals and objectives. But look at this. We want to promote a positive change in DOI through prioritize and timely oversight. If you touch in that area, how can you do that? And then begin to look at this, deliver high quality, timely work products, right? It turns out our services enable agencies to deliver high quality, timely work products. Right? You might change that a little bit, but imagine this way of bringing it back. The people who are listening to you when you're in there having a meeting, or the people who are reading your replies in a response, et cetera, proposal, they will recognize themselves in what you say. They will recognize themselves in what they're reading. And then here's your strategic plan, right? This is OIGs. We could take it all the way back up to the Department of Interior and push in there. The last thing I wanted to show you is, I didn't want to have this ready. I wanted to show you how I do this. But if I go into an agency and I want to find how to do business, some of them, they make it easy. What we just looked at the moment didn't have it, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. But here, I just go to their search and I can type in anything I want, but I want to start with typing. Oh, that's bad development. if I ever click on this, my cursor better automatically be in there. The doing business, that's what I was trying to type. Let's see if they actually do it in logical way. No, instantly it's not there. So I'm going to type something else, right? Which is fine. This is what I mean by it takes a little bit of time. So small business office, let's say. Come on, show me a small business office. Come on, you're killing me here. Interior, interior, blah, blah. This is just all, wow. So this is an example of it not going right, which is fine. So, okay, let me go find the org chart really quick. DOI, about DOI. I'm just checking to see if there's more. Site. Let's check this guy. So this is a site map. Some of them have. Somebody tell me if you see it before me. Contact us. Join. Maybe businesses for employer. And then it goes into the bureaus. By the way, if you want to make it easy for small businesses to succeed, is this it? No. So here we go. No, it's the same thing. God, this sucks. Sorry. Hold on one second. Doing business. No. Interior small business office. Google does a better job searching. Office of small disadvantaged business. There it is. It should not have been that hard to find. These guys are actually nice over there. I'm being a little brutal on their website. Give me a second. My whole page is loading as we go forward. But in their Office of Small Business, one of the things I just wanted you to track on, right, is you can come in here and find the people. So obviously, they've got the basic stuff that you would find on doing business and how to market your capability. Here's all the people that are in there, and they don't hide their contact information. So definitely reach out to these people and introduce yourself. But the other part that I look for, and I just want to be able to show this to you, is when you're pulling up things like this, oh my God, it's another double click. Come on, you're killing me. In here, one of the things that I really track on when I'm trying to do business, I don't want to just do a one and done. I don't want to find something that looks interesting and reach out, ask them if the contract's available or something, and then leave. If I'm trying to do business in DOI, then I want to really pay attention to it. So I might slide over here and just do, like, let me just use me for a second or one of my customers. 541611. Do we see that? There it is. So I'm just doing that. Well, there you go. It drops it down. There's just a few. The next thing I want to see is when's it going to be awarded. And you got to love these ones that are 2023, right? It's a challenge in there. But these are all simplified acquisition, except for one of them. Basically they're going to be small. But I can come over. Come on. Woo. I'm seeing my folks. This is what I was trying to get to. So as you can see, it's just this one person who's in there. And if I go back, and let me back this up 1 second. Control F, Terry. Hey, who's Terry? This is the page with the people, right? It'd be interesting to find out who that is. Let me just do this. I'm typing too fast. Sorry about that. Okay. I think I just deleted it all. That's embarrassing. There it is. If I come in here, I can just put it in and find out who Terry is. It's Teresa, but Terry is at just the Bureau of Ocean Energy. So I'm curious. I didn't even look to see, is this thing at that one agency? So yeah, that's why Terry's in there, which is an interesting thing, right? So this thing, by the way, and maybe this is the tip I leave you with. The reason I'm bouncing around, and I wanted to show you me bouncing around, because everybody kind of has challenges. But if all I do is show you perfection, right? Look, here it is. It's perfect. I'm displaying it. Look how great I am. I'm putting it in. You don't see that even me with tons of experience struggle to find things for a second. But the one thing I don't do is ever give up. And I know the information's in there and I'm just messing it up. But the thing I wanted to mention, that last thing with the forecast, is there's only 4 opportunities in the entire forecast for administrative support services. And it was that one agency. And so I want to reach in and try to find out. I want to do 2 things. First, look at FPDS and see if it's ever been there. But my concern is the other bureaus. How do you get your administrative support services? And so that's a path. If I'm trying to sell administrative support services, that forecast has just informed me. And I have Terry's information. I can start with her and see if maybe she'll give me some insight. I'm like, Terry, you seem to be the only one buying this. No, you're just seeing it or something, whatever that is. But use that information to begin to inform and drive your strategy for getting into the Department of Interior. So anyways, we shared a lot of information. I just want to summarize really quick. When you going into the Department of Interior, make sure you go in there and you first begin to look at the org chart and understand it's such a big organization. Which bureau do you want to target, like in the next 6 months towards the end of the fiscal year here? And then when you have that done, make sure you're looking at USA Spending and FPDS and understanding how they're spending, in particular, how they're spending related to what you sell. And then the last step, and this is a great first step to getting into an interior or into the interior, is reach out to the small business professionals. They're willing to talk with you, give you some guidance on how you can move in. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, put interior rocks into the chat as we head into the weekend. Just remember, government contracting, it is not a secret. It's just a process. Keep following the process. I will see you in next week's training.